Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're well. The non-farm payroll numbers out of America will be released in approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds. I would like to trade these with you, and I want to show you some slides. So 1 second. So I want to take you through some slides that I call non-farm payroll preparation. We've got approximately 1 minute, so I'm just going to go through the essence of it. I trade something called the rule of 4. The rule of 4 is essentially where I break down a chart. Say this chart here, which is the US tech. I break that down as a 5-minute chart, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4. When I bracket the fourth bar, this is called the rule of 4, and I will go long above, even if it happens later in the session, and I'll go short below. This is from February 2024. We got 20 seconds. Maybe we should just pause this for a sec, because there'll be plenty of time to go through this. So let's just I'll show you the Dow numbers on a 15-minute chart, and here we go, and I got no open positions right now. Okay, market did not like that at all. Very heavy drop. Same in the Nasdaq. So this is interesting because the Dow is trading below. No, not quite, but it's getting near the lows of the big break. And let's have a look at the Nasdaq on a weekly chart. Not quite near that either. So now that we know what the sentiment is, let's go back to the presentation. I wouldn't actually mind shorting the Dow here. Sorry, I think I want to do that in half the size with a stop loss above the highs. Okay, sorry, I had a phone call. So my stop loss needs to be up here. Let me just input that. So I will go back to the presentation, but I have shorted the DAX because it's gone through my, if you look at the 15-minute chart, it's school run short, brunch break short. So I'm thinking this should probably go lower. That's the idea. But I'm under a little bit of time pressure here because I want to show you what the rule of 4 is all about. So the rule of 4, I'm going to use a pen now. So the rule of 4 is a rule that I developed initially on the trading on the FOMC announcements. And it takes the 4th bar after the news announcement. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it brackets it. And there's the NASDAQ. You're short below, you're long above. If you do get short here, you probably want to have a stop loss up here. And if you do get long here, you probably want to have a stop loss down here. So this is from February 2024. So let's look at March. March was not a very good example. Long above. And I made a note of both numbers here, 51 to 56, because I'm thinking maybe you want to have an offset. But basically you want to be long above and you want to be short below. And this is from March. And then going through to April, 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. Jumping the gun a little bit here. That was in April. Then in May, as you can see, we entered into a very narrow environment, and that greatly concerned me. So we need to be mindful of that. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, that was not long above, stop loss down here, or short below. Okay. So this was May. Now let's go to June. 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. Now let's go to, so this was June. Let's go to July. 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. Now let's go to August. 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. Now let's go to September. 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. Let's go to October. 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. Now in November, 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. And let's go to December, which is the last data we have for the US indices. 1, 2, 3, 4, an awful example. Long above, short below. Okay, so let's go to the Dow. I didn't have time to do everything in Dow as I wanted to. I ran out of time, but 1, 2, 3, 4, short below, long above. September, 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below, even if it comes later in the session. Let's go to October, 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. And finally, November, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, another horrible example because you would probably be taking long here. Oh, taking long here. See that? And short here. But also notice how tight that range is. It is just 40 points in a 44,000 point index. So that's something we need to be mindful of as well today. If that decision bar is too narrow, it can't be that. And then finally, December, which is the last non-farm payroll we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, long above, short below. Okay, I think that was the last chart. So if we now go, let's discard these numbers. So let's look at the Dow now. We have a 14,606 high and a 14,203 low. So we had a 400 point drop. The FTSE has been trading lower, much to my annoyance, but it has. since that double top. It's a little frustrating to know that I had a stop loss that just got triggered there. So I'm waiting for a couple of bars, and then it will be the fourth 5-minute bar, and then I'll decide what needs to happen. Here's the big picture in the DAX. As you can see, this hasn't really much happened. It's as if they haven't quite decided what to or how to digest this information yet. But the US indices, they're not looking well for this data. And so here's a 4-hour chart. But let's go to the 1-minute chart. The Nasdaq had a drop from 21,100 to 20,900, so at about 250 points. And now I'm waiting for that all-important fourth 5-minute bar. So hopefully that is clear. So now I have to wait. So while I'm waiting, which will be another 2 bars, I'm just gonna see if I got any messages. Someone is saying, hi, does the open in 1 hour influence your 4th bar rule? Why would it? No. Okay, just to see if there's any other questions. Please don't feel obliged to ask questions. I'm just seeing if there are any while I'm waiting. So just waiting. Then someone saying a trading rule of 4 5-minute or 10-minute bracket candle, and you have to wonder when I've just gone to such great length to show that it's a 5-minute chart, why someone would then feel compelled to ask if it was a 5 or 10-minute. Then someone says no more 10-minute bar. No, the 10-minute bar is used for FOMC. The FOMC. How do you set the offset for the entry? Good question. So you would use, I think in the Nasdaq I would probably use 5 points, and in the Dow I would probably use 10 points. We'll see. Then someone is saying, can the scroll run technique work in Bitcoin? And you have to ask, this gentleman here is calling himself a doctor, Dr. Gopi. You have to say, Dr. Gopi, I think you should do your own research. Just remember one thing, I don't feel sorry for people that actually has the opportunity to do the research themselves. Why did you initiate the 50% trade? Well, I thought I just made that clear, but the DAX just sliced through the school run short and the brunch break short. So that's why I went short. Are your stop on DAX correct? I should bloody well hope so. Entry 311, stop loss 392. Stop loss is up here. Okay. There we go. So not long now, and then I will have some inclination on what to do. But still have to be a little patient. I would never have shorted the DAX like I just did there if I was scalping, but I'm not scalping. Martin, I use 5 years. So not long before the... So if you want more information about this, you need to go to my resource channel. So this is then my resource channel on Telegram. So let's have a look. We still have another 5 minutes to go. This is bar number 1. This is bar number 2. Currently waiting for bar number 3 to complete in 10 seconds. And then we'll still have to wait for bar number 4. So here we go. Let me just check the size of bar number 3. Yes, it's not big. So this material, such as the rule of 4 started as a rule that I used to trade the interest rate announcements in America, called the FOMC, and there I used a 10-minute chart. And so the principle was that the rule of 4 would wait for the 4th 10-minute bar, which I would then bracket. The irony here is that I have a 100% perfect track record trading the FOMC here in Telegram. It has been an astounding success. Okay, there aren't that many of them because there aren't that many FOMC, but it's a volatile beast to trade, and the rule of 4 does that really well, but it does it on a 10-minute chart. But then I began to explore if the same principle could be used on news that was released before the market opened. And I found that it could, but I had to modify my time parameter to a 5-minute chart. And that's what I have shown you here. But if you go to the resource channel, and if you don't have access to the resource channel, you can request that by contacting me in Telegram. My Telegram name is in the description of this video and any other videos that I post. You will see a far greater database than the year that I have shown here. And I want to be completely honest with you. There are times when this works really beautifully, such as here and here. But there has also been occasions, in particular in the last few months, where the result hasn't been overly promising. So here's December in NASDAQ, and it's not like you're going to jump up and down for joy on that, but it is what it is. And here's Wall Street. And what concerns me is if the range is very narrow. Well, I guess we'll see. So here's the last 2 Dow. And you'll see after the initial big move, you had a very tight range. And that's why I think it's important that I use a significant offset. So far, the length of this bar here is about 60 points. Really like it to be more. So here's my account. And here's NASDAQ. So there's about 1 minute, and it does concern me how narrow this range is. What I don't want to do is to be victim of a really narrow range, but let's see. I mean, I sort of questioned whether there wouldn't be a fresh leg down of the bear run that we had in early December. And if it was to happen, then perhaps now would be the time. So we got about 30 seconds left, and then we'll see. Obviously, with this big spike down, I would be more inclined to be a short seller than I want to be a buyer. But we'll see. Right now, I'm really not overly convinced one way or another. So the low in the Dow is 42,269. So I would want to not be a seller until around 55. So down here. And in the NASDAQ, the low is 933. And I'll probably have a sell here. So that's my NASDAQ that is seemingly about to trigger. So NASDAQ triggered, I'm doing it in smaller size. And here's what it looks like in the Dow. If we go through, and I don't think you need an explanation of that, but if you go through these slides, you will also see that the real big movement doesn't actually come until the market opens. So obviously there will be some anxious waiting time now. And maybe even the possibility of flip the switch. So I have an entry down here, which is below this low here. But technically I could have a stop loss here. I just decided to not get whipped about. I haven't been filled in the down. Maybe I do need to have that long signal here in the Dow. So the high here is 317. So then have a long signal that. Hang on, just want to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 347. So have a. There we go. So let's see. Unfortunately, both indices are rallying a little bit now. So I will pause this video now, and I will come back and I'll stream again in 30 minutes time. But obviously I will update you on Telegram what I'm doing if anything happens to the stop loss. So that was the rule of 4, and I will see you in about 30 minutes time. See you shortly.